We had the house that we shot in, and then about half a mile away was another house that they rented. And I remember arriving to work one morning at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and one of the producers, Teresa, was in the kitchen baking fresh bread. Do you remember the smell of fresh bread in the morning? I was like, oh, this is amazing. Maybe it was just toast. It might have been just toast. I might be. Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't get any fresh bread.
Well, thank you all for joining us today at the Variety Virtual Sundance Studio presented by Audible. We're joined here by the cast and creative team behind After Yang. So I guess to begin with, Kogonada, what sort of interested you in this material?
Teresa Park, one of the producers, had sent me a collection of short stories, and I stumbled upon this short story. And there was just something really lovely. You know, I identified it as something that I wanted to adapt.
Then I wonder, from the cast's perspective, why did you want to make this film?
For me, it was everybody who was involved. I mean, I came in quite late to the process, and I jumped at the opportunity to work with Kogonada, to work with Colin. And I thought the story was so incredibly beautiful. I mean, I literally jumped on a plane so that I could audition for it.
I totally agree. I love everyone who is part of this movie. I also really like the script because Kogonada made it very detailed. Like, I read the short story as well, and I just really connected with the story.
I loved Columbus. I had seen Columbus. I didn't watch Columbus based on the opportunity to work with Kogonada. I had come upon it. I can't recall ever being given such permission by a filmmaker to feel whatever the story was provoking within me. I don't feel that Kogonada as a filmmaker, he doesn't curate emotions. He doesn't direct the audience to feel this or to feel that. And I found all that in After Yang as well. When I read After Yang, I was excited about the prospect of working with the filmmaker who made Columbus. And I got the sense that it meant a lot to us all, the simplicity of the story, but also the complexity of the human issues that were at play.
Justin, what about you? How did you get involved?
I have been a fan of Kogonada's work. I was really, really moved by the script. And so I wanted to do whatever I could to try and get involved. And obviously got to read for the part. And then Kay and I had coffee, and I sort of begged him to put me in the movie. And
as soon as I saw him, his tape, it was just like, who is this? You know, who is this Yang in my mind? You know, like, this is the guy. So.
This film has a very interesting approach to technology because obviously it envisions a future in which there's an android that looks totally human, but it's a little bit lo-fi. And I wonder, was that a conscious decision?
I didn't want this sci-fi to be defined by its gadgets. And, you know, when I talked to Alexandra, our production designer, I was like, I want more wood and organic feel of our future than metal and glass, you know. Oh, there's my cat.
Did you all think differently about your relationship with technology after doing this project?
No, for me, the use of technology, kind of going off what Kogonada was saying, in this film was something that was blended so seamlessly. And the beautiful thing about this script is the questions are so timeless. It's presented, it's contextualized in a world, in a nondescript time and space in the future.
I mean, it's just such a beautiful, emotional story. I mean, obviously, yeah, at the center of this is is technology, right? But it is so much a human story. It's so much an emotional story that it isn't even really about the technology. It really is about a reflection on humanity and what makes people human.
Did you spend a lot of time together off set? How did you kind of create those relationships so that they could, you know, appear so realistic on screen?
In between scenes, or like when we're not filming, we're always hanging out with each other. And I feel like we always create this bond that really makes us feel like a family. So we could put all of our feelings with that into our acting in the movie.
And I think when you get 4, 5, 6, however many actors and a director who are maybe a little bit anxious and eager to please the material and please each other, you lean into each other pretty quick. And it was such an intimate environment, as I said earlier. You know, the crew was very small. The locations that we used were kind of felt isolated. We all needed each other, I suppose, to tell the story, I think.
I think that there's something really magical that happens, especially in independent filmmaking, where it's so much smaller. Almost all of it was in that little house that we shot in. And so it felt like we were a family. And there were just no egos. And you know, Kogonada created such an incredible gentleness on the set. Like the atmosphere was so kind and gentle and warm and nurturing. And it just resulted, I think, in this thing where we all just fell madly in love with each other.
You know, like Jodie's first scene, I believe, was she had a dance with the family. Them four figuring out how to get into sync and literally sweat together. I thought that was a great way to kind of start them as a group too. You know?
I don't think we would have made it as far in the competition as the script demanded that we were supposed to.
I think we would have. We were killing it. It was amazing.